welcome to our new YouTube channel, Chai, Biscuit, or Dramay. This is a new YouTube channel on Pakistani dramas, reviews about Pakistani dramas, started by me, Mevish, and Harim,
Hello.
and Sadaf.
Hi.
We have been friends for a very long time. Sadaf and I are sisters. We've known Harim for a very long time. Really close friend, like a sister. And we are based in the U.S. and we watch Pakistani dramas with a passion to stay in touch with our heritage. And we used to talk to each other about dramas, sometimes with frustration, sometimes with happiness. And then we decided, hey, why not, take the show on the road or share our thoughts with other
True.
people. None of us are related to celebrities or have been paid or
Yeah,
endorsed in any
we're not being
way.
paid by anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
all views are
Um,
ours, not anybody
all views
else's.
are ours, not influenced by anything. Um, and, we want to be different. So let's just see how the first episode goes. But we're hoping to provide constructive criticism and feedback to actors and producers and just drama writers in general, hoping that we can all improve because there's always room for improvement and we can always improve too. So please like, subscribe, click on the bell, and let us know how we're doing. Ask us questions and also suggest things that you want to see or,
Or not
and
see.
we can, and we'll see if we can accommodate those things. So with that, let's start our first episode. We are going to be talking, the main dramas we're going to be talking about are Dil Awaiz, Angana, which recently ended last week. And then we're also watching Dobara, Badshah Begum, Fraud, Bazat, um, Mere Humsafar, and Ek Se Damar. I think that covers all of the ones we're going to cover, right?
Hubs
I
as
think
well.
so.
Well, I'm the only one
Oh,
watching, I think.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So Hanim has started Hubs, so she can cover that
Yeah.
as well. Okay, so actually, before we get started on discussing the laves, Sadaf wants to mention something we started, a point system to rate the drama categories. Instead of stars, though, we're using biscuits. Can
Biscuit
you
points.
elaborate,
Yeah.
Sadaf?
So basically, like people give 1 star, 2 star ratings to books, TV shows, and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Ours is going to be biscuit points. So if we give 5 biscuits to a drama, that means we really, really like it, and so on and so forth. Obviously, 1 is not that great. If we don't give you any biscuits, well,
Or
that's not a
you
good thing
could
at
get
all.
negative biscuits.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, we'll try not to give negative biscuits, but yeah, I guess that's a possibility. So, but yeah.
Okay, so I'll start with the laves. And I think I'm the only one who watched it start to finish out of the three of us. I
Yes.
give it 5 biscuits.
Nice.
And 5 biscuits doesn't mean perfect, but it's just everything just worked really well in this drama. The cast was very good. The casting was very good. The story was very good. The dialogues were very good. And the story evolved very organically and flowed really well. You don't get bored at any point watching this drama, even though it's a daily drama. And that's really hard to do, in my opinion, because you're putting out content every day. Now, did I watch it all without forwarding some scenes? No, because Pakistani dramas, as we all know, have a lot of flashback scenes.
Flashbacks.
Yeah. And so if I was to ding a few crumbs off of a biscuit, it would be for those. But other than that, so I'll just introduce the main cast. Kashif Mahmood is the Nawab, who is living, Nawab Shahabuddin, with his wife, Javedia Abbasi, who plays Roshanara, and they have a daughter, Faria. Then you also learn that Kinza Hashmi is also Nawab's daughter from a previous marriage. Well, down the line, you realize her mom belonged to a Kurta. That's where he fell in love with her, and he brought her to, gave her Izzat and brought her home to his home, had a daughter with her. But then as you keep going down, you learn there were some betrayals and, some mistrust issues were placed in between them. So Kinza Hashmi's mom passes away, and he always thinks that she betrayed him. And so he treats her daughter, you know, mistreats her because he thought her mother was, he got betrayed by her mother. And then, obviously his wife mistreats her because even though her mom is gone from the picture, Kinza Hashmi's, which, by the way, Kinza Hashmi plays the mother in the flashbacks and plays the daughter, and they did a really good job with that. Um, but you know, she's never really gone from his heart. Like, he's still pining over her and never gives his current wife I think the love and attention she deserves. So then, you know, things happen, and Kinza Hashmi ends up marrying Sikandar, who happens to be Kashif Mahmood's friend's son. And the friends are played by Farhana Diagha and Fazila Qazi, again, two veteran actors, great in what they do. Fazila Qazi is absolutely graceful. She is. I mean, and her dialogue delivery, the way she talks to Kinza Hashmi, kind of like guides her and tells her, you know, I don't like the way you came into my house, but you have to, you know, now make a place in my son's heart. And she's like very, very nice. I mean, she has her ups and downs too. You know, she's not 100% with her bohu, but also she's trying not to be unfair to her, because she also realizes that it's an unfair situation. Kinza Hashmi doesn't deserve to be mistreated either. A lot of it is not her fault. Her sister runs away. Her sister was the one that was supposed to get married to Sikandar. And then also there's a little Cinderella-esque kind of situation where Sikandar has found a paya on his way to a wedding. The wedding happens to be Kinza Hashmi's cousin's wedding. Kinza Hashmi's lost a paya, but through happenstances and different things, Fariha ends up with the other paya. So Sikandar sees Fariha in possession of the paya, then assumes it's her paya. And so he falls in love with the girl whose paya it is, not knowing that all along he's been married to that girl. And, you know, so it was a very interesting story. And they ended it really well. In the end, the characters come around 180 degrees. There's a resolution. There's, you know, the main issue gets resolved, and you know, I feel like the good people win. Everybody has a happy ending, so that was really nice to see, because a lot of times I follow dramas that start off really well, you have great chemistry, but then for whatever reason they don't end it where you feel completely satisfied.
They rush it, or everything, or all of a sudden everything gets resolved, or like that. Or nothing gets resolved, or you have all these questions left over, and you're like,
and then nothing gets resolved. Everybody goes their separate ways, and you're just like, well, wait. Like, So again, 5 biscuits for great casting. I must also say, Kashif Mahmood has aged really well. He was very good when he used to be a hero, and even now, I mean, even as a father figure, he did really well, and you believed him in the Nawab role. So really, and you know, Javeria Basi also doesn't seem to have aged at all. She fits in every role. So mashallah, everybody looks really good. And and Afan Wahid, I think I forgot to mention his name, the hero of the drama. The only thing with Afan Wahid is I felt kind of bad, because throughout most of the drama, he was, in the beginning, he was good. Like, he has this like joking kind of personality, and then he, you know, because the woman he loves leaves, he gets a lot of the qis, he's very like somber like attitude. So he just needs to work a little bit on his expressions. You can't really tell how he's feeling by the way he looks. But he had some cute scenes with Kinza Hashmi, so I really liked.
I really liked the scene where he took her for her birthday, and it was really cute. And she was like so giddy, and it was really cute because she was like sitting on like a high chair type thing, and her like legs were like, you know, flopping like a little kid.
On the beach, it was so cute.
Yeah, it was very cute. It was a really, you know. They even have a cute scene when she comes back in the last episode, and he's like cooking on the bed, like the AC is really high, and I don't know for what reason the grown man can't pull up the cover. He's just laying there like shivering, and then all of a sudden you see these hands, and you obviously know it's not his mother's hands, it's Kinza Hashmi's hands. They'll pull up the covers, and as she's about to walk away, he grabs her arm, and I mean, it was really cute. Like, as cute as, you know, Desi people can show romance. You know, like, they did a really good job. And then he, like, pulls her down on the bed, and he's like, Aapne hame maaf kar diya. And she's like, huh, and she rests her head on his shoulder, and he, like puts his arm around her shoulders. It was really cute. It was really, so I was very happy with the ending. Okay,
No, you ladies can't really contribute to it if you didn't see it. But Hadim saw some clips, right? Some of you don't watch any of it.
Yeah, it just was hard to keep up
No.
as a daily. So like maybe we'll, now that it's on YouTube and
yeah, definitely.
When you have
when you
a lot
have
dramas,
chance.
But yeah, do you wanna? We forgot to mention this, but we do have biscuit awards. Any awards you want to give to anybody in this drama?
So our biscuit awards, I guess we can do them for best and worst, right?
Yeah.
Like best and worst.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess best villain. You mean like?
Yeah, best
in
villain.
That way, worst. Yeah.
Yeah, or best overactor. That'll come in handy when Bob rolls around.
Actually,
it's hard. If I were to give a biscuit award, I think I'd do an overall best cast award because I can't single out like like everybody shined in their roles.
That's good.
Yeah,
I will say I think the one criticism I did have was like the like the house that they were in. It was like they were in it like they had some warehouse full of like Nawab's type of stuff, and they just filled the entire house, whether it like matched or anything like that. And it just got to a point where it was like
okay, we get it.
Everything clashed. And it was like gaudy and not like like sophisticated. So I would probably have somebody work on that.
Did you also find it funny how when they were taking, I don't know if you watched this part, but when they were taking the family portrait, how the Haveli in the backdrop was like a sheet with a Haveli on it, like
oh no,
like it was a backdrop like this. I was like, why didn't they just take it in front of their Haveli? Like, so maybe maybe they didn't get a house that like they couldn't find a Haveli to shoot at.
So I do. Less is more in that. Yeah,
it's funny that you mentioned that because there are a couple of scenes where like her popo and stuff that I'm like, what is this weird? Like, there's no like in a Nawab's house. I agree. I expect like this olden day decor and this like Mughal type of look, and it just looked like these weird like pink and purple divans and stuff like normal Pakistani house.
And there were like chairs like randomly, just like opulent chairs, just like randomly around, like from what I remember, just like so. It was just like it just didn't. And
maybe the setting could have used a little bit of help. Sure. That's true. In fact, actually, Sikandar's house looked better in my opinion. Like his decor was done a little bit better than their Haveli was. Yeah, that's good. Anything else, or should we move on?
Move on to the ending of Angana.
Oh God.
So another drama that ended was Angana. Since we gave 5 biscuits to Dil Awaiz for everything being perfect, this is the complete opposite of perfect. And it's kind of sad because it had a lot of great actors in it. They just weren't cast in a very good role, or the story just like some dramas you watch and you're kind of like, why?
Yeah.
Why is this why is this happening?
I felt that the writers were like, okay, this week we're gonna make Isha suffer, and then next week we're gonna make Biha suffer, and that and they were just like, just throwing out like whatever. I mean, like I think they had like 3 miscarriages in one whole drama, right? Like, I mean, that's quite a lot.
Yeah.
So
it was a lot to go on. Like I understand people have hardships and stuff, but when people put on a drama, they don't want to see just that.
Yeah.
Like, and I think we've mentioned this before that when the trailers first came out, the promos, the teasers, we all drew like comparisons to Mehndi drama.
Yeah.
Which came out a while ago. Again, another stellar cast with Humayun Saeed and Ijaz Aslam and Adnan Siddiqui. And we thought it would be something similar, 4 sisters getting married, because that's what the teasers showed, weddings. So yeah, like I was saying, Pakistani weddings you can do so much with them culture-wise and, story-wise. And you can even put, a little bit of tragedy and stuff in it. Sure, everybody goes through something. But here you had, and sorry, but casting was horrible. None of the couples looked like they loved each other at all or had any chemistry. I mean, they loved each other, but they had no chemistry. Like I wasn't believing it.
Well, I mean, like 2 of them didn't really anyway. I mean, well, Isha's was arranged at first, so it wasn't like
some of it just didn't make sense to me as well. Like for like the character like between Daza and like Laiba, right? So they like
Nayab.
does sorry
Nayab.
Nayab, sorry Laiba was the actress, yeah.
Yeah.
Laiba. So Daza Nayab, like he's like at her parents' like anniversary party, right? So
Yeah.
like when we're looking at this as an audience, we're thinking, okay, the parents probably realize that these two like each other because he's like the only like non like family person there, right?
Yeah.
And then
And he's apparently always there.
yeah, and then when they come for the rishta, they act all surprised, like what oh, like we didn't know these two liked each other, or like we didn't know that was going on. But I was like,
I guess they're just thinking that they're college friends and nothing else.
But like, why wouldn't she have like other college? So it just didn't make
like girlfriends
that,
too. Yeah.
Right,
that like logic didn't. And then he was like inviting himself over to like like the other parties and things like that. So it just didn't make sense. Like,
and even didn't he go to her dad's office or something and said, "I'm like looking for office space," and her dad's just like, "Oh yeah, here, take this office in my building," and
yeah. And he was
I think they showed
stop by and stuff, right?
Yeah.
One of the issues of this drama was that they showed the parents to be really stupid. Like you can love your daughters. But if you really loved your daughters, you wouldn't be so stupid in handing them over to just anybody, like
exactly.
So that didn't make any sense at all.
Yeah,
and it could have been really well because I think the theme in the beginning that you see is this dad who loves his daughters, his 4 daughters, and is not at all upset that he doesn't have any sons or anything, and he wants to always give him the best in life. And even the dadi and the mom, like John Chirakte and the dadi's doing istikharas. Okay, first of all, the bichari dadi, nobody listens to her istikharas.
Yeah.
So there's first red flag. Then But then some other things like Isha, like she worked in her dad's, at least in the first episode or something. They show her at the company. Something she have like a position there. They show her in her dad's company. So I'm thinking, they're pretty like obviously they're pretty lucky. They're from a good family, but it's like. Even then, like, I'm thinking business people have, at the very least, some kind of, like, indication they know who they're working with. And her in-laws, the lady, they've worked with her dad's company for a very long time. And he doesn't have any idea. He's never heard any murmurings of what kind of woman. Because it's not like she's nice in front of him and his family, but she's ruthless as a businesswoman. Even her staff, she treats them like crap. Like, I don't know if I can say crap, but she treats them really bad. And, so it's like he never heard through business. Like people know things about people, like CEOs of companies. So some of the stuff is like it's a little unrealistic and hard to swallow. I understand it's a drama. Sometimes you can let go of some things, but sometimes it's just like, please, you're being lazy. Like, please, like make it at least a believable problem.
Talking about how in like the drama, the father was like doing an investigation on like the guy that he wanted to marry. And he already knew like the father from like for years and years and years, but he still wanted to do, and that was smart because it's like, but Chiki Shadi, obviously you're gonna do some type of thing. So it's like, when like Javed character who loves his daughters doesn't go to that extent that any parent really does. Like I think that's like the norm right now. So. It doesn't make sense, and he has the means to do it too. It's not like, good image or like.
Or that he's desperate. That kisi shaadi nahi ho rahi kyunki to kisi se bhi kar do or something. Like.
And also I didn't like that Isha never spoke up. Like it's one thing if it's like छोटी मोटी adjustments हर घर में होती है. I understand that's reality, but a slap is a no. Like, and you have a family. It's not like you came from a lower or middle class family or somebody who's not gonna. Your family is gonna have your back. Your sisters are gonna have your back. You talk to anybody, and even when the sisters accidentally find out, and her sister loses a baby and has a miscarriage because of it, she still keeps quiet and she doesn't tell her mom. So it really irked me and annoyed me that as a woman, I'm sitting here seeing this girl going, "Nini kuch nahi hai," whatever, like, and it's not like he changes. He's like, he does it. He's such a mama's boy. and whatever, like, speak up, say something.
Yeah.
And this brings us to another point that we want to mention, like, if you're not talking about domestic abuse, please don't show domestic abuse. Just like you can blur out and leave certain things to people's imaginations. Yeah, you can show, somebody, but don't actually show the act of, a woman getting slapped. Even if it's acting, I understand they don't really get slapped. It's all, but it doesn't send out a good message. I just feel like.
Yeah.
So now back to the why we gave it negative biscuits. Was it negative biscuits, or did we give it one biscuit?
I mentioned
one
negative,
biscuit,
but
I guess.
Okay, we'll be nice and give it one biscuit.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure there's something in it that was good.
The ending just didn't satisfy at all.
The idea of it was probably good. And they had a really big cast and like clearly a lot of like, money to, do all that. I just wished like if they were like focusing more on like the weddings, like they could have had some really like kind of cute scenes, like kind of like those like scenes that, like from like the other sisters where they would have like met like, their future husband there or something like that. That would have been like nice to see. Like, cause I think with Isa, she just like looked at the guy, like, the guy that was married.
Yeah, two of the sisters just like Chuckbart got married. And the funny thing is, like, Mehndi drama, they did all four sisters' wedding together. And it was still more well thought of than they did two of theirs together. They did have that
and
cute...
even that had...
Huh?
And even that had, like, every sister had a tragedy, but it was because of what the father had said earlier, remember?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah, the Mehndi drama did have a good reason for what was happening to the
And then things
sisters.
resolved because it wasn't 60 episodes long.
Yeah.
That too.
So,
yeah, dramas back then were only 15 episodes, so...
And they showed that the father realized, and then the things, worked
But the
out
thing is that, like, this drama, I didn't feel like there was any resolution. They hinted at people are happy, but if we've seen in the 60-plus episodes, nobody's ever really happy in this drama. There's more tears than smiles. Like, the older sister ends up, for the time being, she's just working in her ex-father-in-law's company. She's, single.
Which is, I guess it's sort of a good message in that, like,
it's
just, if she's not ready to move on, if she's not ready to get remarried, I think that happens a lot too, where it's like, abhi to jawan hai, uski shaadi karwa dete hain,
that's true
and
too.
some people just need time to grieve, and and maybe she won't ever be ready to get remarried because she can't see somebody else taking and that's still okay. It doesn't mean that she has, I think that's the thing, that doesn't mean that she has to like spend all of her days like just crying and like in like white safed kapde or whatever and at home, because she's like going out and being part of that business and stuff. But it doesn't also mean that she has to like move on and become somebody else's wife. So I think that was a good message.
That's true, yeah.
I guess, and another positive point I want to point out about Abiha's story is her in-laws never blamed her or were mean to her about anything. Because at one point,
for that shoe to drop.
Because they started off all lovey-dovey with her and extra sweet and everything, and I thought, maybe after the death of their son, they're gonna be like the manhuso or something, like ever since you came into our house. And that was really refreshing to see that they actually fought to keep her in the house. And one of the reasons they suggested Musa as a match was because they didn't want her to, ever get remarried to somebody else and leave them.
Yeah.
So good job for that. I'll give you that does deserve a biscuit.
Yeah.
So that's a plus
there
point.
We go. We found one.
and then Ishan and her husband move away. So I guess they do kind of get resolved. Their issue does resolve.
Because it's good that her husband took her out of a toxic situation, because at the end of the day, that's still his mom, right? He can't break his ties with his mom, right?
Exactly. So they do see, and Imran Abbas, he did a really good, Ali Abbas, sorry.
Ali
I was
Abbas.
like, I said something wrong. Ali Abbas, the character who plays Isha's husband, then he did a really good job. He was a great actor in this, so I guess he's a plus point in their story. Because you see his trauma and you understand why he is the way he is, and he does a really good job playing a traumatized child, dealing with his scars. And then the third sister was the saddest because she dies. Yeah. And the way she dies is really sad. Like, she's about to, like, reach her happiness.
Happiness, yeah. And
then
Laiba just...
Naya's story was probably the dumbest, like, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just because, I don't know, I know you guys differ in your opinion, but for me, like, when a child is involved, I feel like dynamics change a little bit. Like, if you're alone and you want to leave a man, it's easy. You don't have to really think about it. Especially as a woman. Like, as a mother, I feel like I would think twice and be willing to forgive certain things. I mean, he cheated her, but it wasn't like with another woman, you know? He cheated her in the sense that he wanted to become rich.
He did say, I think, like, he was like, oh, jab, you know, मैं फिर अपनी पसंद की शादी करूंगा. Like, later, he did have that one line, like, after, like, he's like, after I divorce her, after I get, like, he said something like,
yeah, he did. He did.
That was like,
I thought somebody said that, because I mentioned that, and somebody was like, oh no, his parents were talking about just get married to somebody else, and he's like, fine, but I'm still going to marry my Basan Nayab, apparently.
Yeah. No, it was the other way around. It was like, इससे शादी करके he was going to get, like, all the money, but then he's like, oh, फिर मैं, you know, दूसरी बार मैं अपनी पसंद से करूंगा and stuff.
Yeah, because he does later say to his sister, I think, he says, she's like, आप मोहब्बत करते थे. He's like, पहले नहीं करता था, मगर जब छोड़ के गई तो करने लगा.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
which I didn't. The other thing that was kind of, I guess, wrong about that is that, like, they were just saying, like, बड़े घर की लड़की जो, like, you know, उससे, like, come, like, you know, they shouldn't, like, lower class, they shouldn't get married into that. So that was a little, you know.
Yeah, but they show them to be greedy people.
Yeah, they should. That's the thing. So then they didn't. And that's what I have, like, a problem a lot with Boston parents are the segues that, like, the lower class are either, like, bichare, like, bebus log or whatever, or they're very greedy. Like, there's never like, you know, there's, like, a normal.
I wish, I wish that they would have shown him change. Like, वो आती और उसकी अच्छाइयों को देख के and the way she's like घुल मिल जाती, वो उनके दिल को बदल देती. Like, that would have been a much better story. Because this discourages people from, you know, ever trusting anyone from a lower class family, and they're not all like that. Like, so I wish there, like, it was a teachable moment. It was a moment, like I just said, like with Abiha's family, it was very nice and refreshing to see them not call her Manhus. So this would have been very light and refreshing to see, okay, गरीब लोगों की, we understand, you know, उनकी जिंदगी ऐसे गुजर रही होती है, so they want पैसा. But then they realize after they have, you know, their bahu comes in and they realize the value of what things really matter. And, you know, और Raza तरक्की करता in her father's firm, you know, वो अपने उस पे तरक्की वो कहता मैं ईमानदार बनूंगा, मैं तरक्की करूंगा, like,
If they had maybe shown him at least starting to change before she found out or something, that could have also been helped to
that would have helped. That would have, like, given more sympathy towards him when she, like, slapped him randomly. So
And I mean, if you think about it, like with the forgiveness thing, like his sister or the sister, like that guy Salu, remember, from the Mohalla, who I thought was gonna become a cheater as well, like, you know, like being the Dhokebaz, like her brother. But it actually turned out that when she became rich and moved into the bigger house that her hobby had, she started ignoring Salu and saying, "मैं इसके पीछे क्यों?" The sister was like, "मैं इसको क्यों इतनी importance देती थी? ये तो अब गरीब है और हम लोग तो अब अमीर हो गए." But मगर जब फिर वो लोग गरीब हुए, फिर से, like, when they got kicked out, she realized that she still loved him, and he forgave her. He took her back. I was like, oh, कोई और होता तो नहीं लेता, but
or he would have, like, cheated her, like, you know.
Or he would have.
Drama में, okay, आप हमें समझ में आ रहा है. हमने हर चीज डाल दो.
Okay. So are we ready to move on from Angana?
Yes.
Yeah, please. I can't talk about this anymore. So another good drama that, well, it was good until it kind of hit a roadblock. Dobara.
I already know.
Dobara.
Which my husband always, when he's like Dobara phir se lagao, and I was like, that was a movie. The drama is called Dobara.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's like wait. Anyways, okay, Dobara. Who wants to give a synopsis of it? Sadam, you can go since you have a lot to say about this.
I'm just gonna say, like, it's very fitting name for Pakistani drama because Dobara hame dhoka mil gaya ek drama. Like, and this is the issue with Pakistani dramas that I personally have, and why I'll watch some things, I'll start them if I think they start off good or if I hear good things or whatever. And the second they go bad, which a lot of them do, they go south, and I will just leave it because I can't do that. So it's happened with
there, go ahead.
Way too many dramas. So
I think what they do is they take the characters to a point of no return, and that's very like off-putting for the viewer because you can take there's different levels of bad, right? So like with Mahid like seeing Nanmeen again, you know, it could have been something they was like tempted to go talk to her or something like that, but it should have been something that was like a lesson for him that like, hey,
right.
you know, I'm actually like I really don't care what she, you know, that she's here. Like I don't feel anything for her.
Yes, that's what would have been great.
Like that would have been like the resolution.
Like, it's hard. It's like the cliche first love story.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Your first love is your love.
Yeah.
But I don't know how true that is in real life.
And Meru wasn't really a love, right? Meru was always a marriage of convenience. At least I always thought she was.
Yeah.
I personally thought that they would make it that it would turn out that she is actually his true love, and that's what he realizes is, oh my god, this is what true love is.
That would be a great happy ending, but we know Pakistani dramas don't do happy ending really well. But Mahir, so even when Mahir started to be nice to Meru and stuff, I mean he was never really mean to her. Even now, like there's a couple of scenes where he's like. He's starting to flinch and stuff and like ignoring her a little.
But non-existent churia.
Well, not to her though. He hasn't said anything to her like "aapki churia" or something. He said it to Nirmi.
Even like saying it behind her back, I think maybe is even worse.
Oh,
right?
I'm not 100%. I'm not saying that what he's doing is right. I'm just saying that ever since Mahir came into her life as a husband, I never for once trusted him. He's young. If it wasn't Nirmi, it would be somebody else. It would. I just don't believe that he was ever going to be faithful to her. It would have been nice, that would have been a great story to show him change and be like that. But it's not. The Junia stuff and stuff like that. If maybe it was a woman who had Junia, but Hadiqa is like flawless. Like
I swear,
she looks so cute. Mashallah, like, why would you?
I think that's what makes it worse because it's like she's this beautiful woman that you've married who you lucked out because
who's giving you the world, right? You never had the love of a mother, and not that I'm saying I'm equating the love of a wife to a mother, but I'm saying she gives him that protection and that encouragement and that she's been all things nice to her, and not just him, his family. She got his dad to the hospital, got his heart fixed, his mom. She basically repaired a lot of his relationships too, the way she just acted around them, and just by him marrying her, he got the izzat from people that he's been wanting all this time. So she's done everything and selflessly. What is she getting out of it? Other than feeling just like just a little bit of happiness.
Companionship. Yeah.
All she wanted was companionship, faithfulness, and a little bit of the youth that she had lost and through living vicariously through him. Yeah. She knows he can't provide anything else, and she's giving him everything. And she's like, tumhare paas paise hain, tum acha kyun nahi pehante, tum ye kyun nahi karte, like she groomed him and stuff. So, but I always knew because the time when she was talking to Nayara's husband and he warned her and said, you should be careful. And he's like, हाँ वो इतने पैसे लगाएगा जितने मैं लगाने दूंगी. So I feel like ever since then, he's also had this like ego problem where he's like, oh, I will be so nice to you that you will blindly trust me and whatnot. And now I'm hoping either one of two things happen. One, he does go to Nirmeen and realizes his mistake for whatever reason, because Nirmeen is not honest either. Well, I don't know if Nirmeen is, but her mom definitely isn't honest, and the only reason they're after Mahir now again is because he's rich.
She wouldn't have like gone after him.
Yeah, and I don't
the CEO of the company, right?
Yeah. And I don't understand like Nirmeen and her mom. What do they think that Meher was just gonna be okay with him marrying her and then keep them both in her life and business? And
maybe they think they think he's gonna marry her in secret and she'll be the second wife in secret or something.
Okay, but eventually somebody's gonna. That's just
clearly
not a
they're not
very
very
good
bright.
plan, long-term plan.
Clearly they're a little bit, screws are loose. So
one of two things: either he goes to Nermeen, he ends up with her and is Kangla and whatever, which would be the best revenge at this point. Or he goes and something clicks and he realizes that, like you said, Meru is his true love and she's given him selflessly the love that he's looking for. Or, he does go through with the wedding because in the promo we do see that Meru's like the Meru Kungine or something like Kushi Sajao or whatever. But when he comes back, she's like, haha, sucker, you everything now. Like, जाओ सड़क पे वापस टेनिस सिखाओ लोगों को जैसे तो सिखा दो.
Sadly, I don't think Meru will do a double take. I mean, a turnaround like that.
The other thing was he was after her. She didn't go, like, she was very, very, very hesitant to marry him.
That's true too.
In that, like, because she said,
but even he was pushed by his friend, right? Like, he got that idea from his friend.
See, but that's the thing. When you said, Bajia, that you kind of knew already because, he's young, and if it wasn't Naveen, it would be somebody. The point is, when we saw the drama's promos, that's exactly what I thought it would be, is the typical, she's going to marry this young guy, and he will be the bad guy, and everybody will be telling. And then when we saw the drama, it was like, oh, no, I think he maybe had started off kind of bad, but because of his, childhood and stuff. But then he's turning around because of her. And it made it such a refreshing thing. Like, this is such a great thing to show. And so when they came about and did basically what we were thinking before, it was like, there you go. You disappointed us like people usually do with Pakistani dramas.
And then her trash children that were, like, still against her. And then you're like, well, they were right all along, right? They were right to hate him. They were right
and the one thing that the one person you don't want to be right is Durdana Popo is also right.
Can we just shout out? She was amazing.
Yeah, she was amazing.
And if the song was good, you can't forget it.
Yes. Oh my God, their scenes were the best.
So and that's why it was not like the drama itself was like pretty funny, and like it was a little bit light on that end because like Bilal like has like such good chemistry with everybody, and he was like comedic timing and everything that was really good too.
I mean, the performances in this drama, amazing. Like everybody was great. Everybody looked great. Acted well. Everything, because the people you were supposed to hate, you hated. The people that you were supposed to love, you loved. All of that. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's the story that is just
the story, where they took like 20 episodes of like character development for Mahid, and they just threw it out the window.
They're like, you know what? It's like the writer was like, no,
we need a twist. We need a twist.
And the only twist.
Yeah, go ahead. But I'll bring back, because I like to play devil's advocate. I'll bring back, how did we feel about Meru not believing that Mahir when he got accused of harassing her both?
Oh yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah, I mean, one, I didn't like because of after this whole like Amber Heard, Johnny Depp situation. Two is like like the false accusations and stuff like that. That wasn't cool. So,
but taking that aside, because we can do a whole another episode on the whole Me Too movement and everything, and how false accusations hurt the actual cause. But I'm just saying, if we're talking about spouses supporting each other, this just occurred to me. Like, we're talking about Meru always being selfless and what, but I was really surprised that she believed her bohu, and
like
the fact
that blindly.
And that line that she kept saying, "Koi aurat apni izzat kyun is tarah khudi?" I mean, accusing somebody of, it's not like she accused him of. I mean, she accused him of harassing her, but I don't feel like that's beneath. Like new age girls like her. Like, I feel like she would like. Like she just looks like chalak like that. Like, because Meru should know her character in the sense that when Rishte Ke Liye Jab Gaye The, Meru already didn't remember in the beginning when her son. Meru didn't like the family or the girls. She was like, maybe Sojuni or something.
That's another example of showing bad parents. I feel like, you remember, because it seemed like she kind of said yes for his stuff because she wanted him to let her live her life too.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really stupid.
What are you talking about? I'm so confused.
Remember there was this one part where they finally get the baat paki and whatever they were saying, usme chahiye meher mein or whatever, like,
yeah.
and all this stuff, and she was just like, and even the people is like, what, are you crazy? Like, that's a lot of money, and so basically they were showing that she was trying to appease her son Afan, so he would be okay with her, like, living her life and stuff, and having like Bilal as a what's his name, Mahid as a friend and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was really stupid because I'm sorry, but as a mom, like, I wouldn't do that. Like, I'm not going to push be like, oh yes, son, I'll let you marry this girl whose family is clearly greedy, even though they have no reason to be, because they were apparently well off too. And it was just, that to me showed like she was a bit.
Well, I think that's Mehu's character.
Oh, pleaser, maybe
trying to, but I think that was maybe her character of seeing the best in everybody, because she saw the best in Mahir, she saw the best in, even though Donna Popo, she like tolerated her, right? Like in her house, right?
That's
so
true.
Like, I mean, if that was the case, like, I mean, I wouldn't tolerate somebody like that, like who's, especially like the stuff that she was saying, like even like when she was going out, like for like her to the park, and she was like, these like backhanded, like, not even backhanded, like to your face, like things that she was saying, like I wouldn't tolerate that, but she,
which makes it even worse that she's being treated this way now, and basically it seems like nobody's good to her in her life. Not her first husband wasn't, her kids aren't, and it's like, well, that's not very nice. I don't know how it's going to end, but it's only one episode, and I personally don't have very high hopes. So
is it one episode or two?
The last episode in 2 days. Okay, so I think we spent enough time on this. Let's see how. Should we go with predictions of what we think is going to happen at the end?
I mean, what do you think? I mean, what I would like to see is
let's say what you think will happen, not what you will like will happen. Based on your experience watching Pakistani dramas, what do you think? And then on our next episode, we'll see who's right.
I think it'll be that situation of like, if you let your love go, like let your glove go, and if it comes back to you,
if you love something, let it go.
Yeah. And if it doesn't, then it was never yours. So I think it's going to play out like that, and it'll play out in a way that it was never hers.
So do you think love will return to Meru?
She said so.
No.
And I don't think, and like, and in my opinion, I don't think she should take Mahid back.
So even if love returns, she doesn't think.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So there you go, people. Hadim doesn't forgive or forget. So do you forgive and forget?
Apparently I do.
Hadim husband, if you're watching, be very careful.
Apparently I do forgive and forget, because I keep watching these dramas and getting disappointed over and over and over again. So
what's your prediction? What do you think is going to happen?
I think he'll come back.
And do you think Meru will take him back?
Yeah, I mean, as far as they're showing her to be just, I'm sorry, but I don't even want to say something nice about her.
I would say she's is she a doormat? Is she a definition of a doormat?
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah.
What do you think it'll happen, Badshah?
So I think the same. I think he will go to Nareen, and wouldn't it be funny if he died in an accident or something? Because they sometimes
do. Be funny.
I mean, we don't really like the guy anymore. Not funny, haha, but like funny as in that's a twist that I can totally see a Pakistani drama throwing. They've killed good people, so I think he's gonna go to Nareen, and I guess if he's going to Nareen, the better thing would be for Meru to just live alone, right? But I think he'll come back, and I think she'll take him back.
I changed my answer. I think he'll.
No. You cannot. No redo. No, go ahead.
No takesy backsies. So I think he's gonna go to Nareen. I think he'll leave Meru and go to Nareen and be like, I don't have any money, and Nareen will be like, I'm out of here.
Peace. See ya.
And then he'll be shown alone on the beach.
You think all three of them will be left alone then? It'll end with all three of them. Maybe a booty kahani. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that'll be it. I think he'll realize that he's made the biggest mistake of his life and he can't go back.
Okay.
Wow.
And I think he'll realize that, you know, he's the product of his parents who made these mistakes in their life as well.
I mean, his dad wasn't. I mean, I thought his dad was great. But
his dad still made
his dad was not great.
Yeah.
His dad did not stand up for him at all.
Yeah,
in front of his
stepmother. But then he did change.
It's not fine.
He's the only one that I felt.
I understand,
I'm not
but
saying
you
it's
have
fine. I'm saying yes, what he did was wrong, but they did show him to turn around and feel guilty and become a better dad. Try to become a better dad.
Right,
Whereas
but think of that's a parent, right? But think of a child who's been scarred with two parents being alive but still neglecting him. Those scars take a long time to heal.
Yeah,
it's not like, oh yeah, I forgive you, Dad. It's all good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying anything about that. I'm just saying at least they showed the father having some kind of
where the mom never did.
And they show Maher still, at least he's still talking to them. He still goes to his dad, and when he heard about his mom's sickness, he still stayed with her. Like,
But I'm sorry, but his mom was just an ugly.
His mom was worse, I feel like, then.
Yeah.
So bad. And like, that's
what about his stepdad with the glasses?
I don't even know who that guy is. Who told him he could act and be an actor? Like, seriously. Do you guys want to give out biscuit awards now, or you save that for the end of the drama?
Let's save it for the end.
Let's save that for the end.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, and we're back, and let's start. We wanted to talk about Badshah Begum now. Who wants to start with? So I must admit, I still haven't watched last week's episode, so tomorrow I'll catch up on 2.
Okay.
Did you watch?
Yeah, I did watch. It's just, I think last couple episodes have kind of been dragging ever since Jahan Ada has been in the city.
Okay.
I think my biggest complaint is, and I know Badshah, you have the exact opposite, is that Bakhtiar and Jahan Ada have no chemistry, and I don't see why we should be rooting for them.
Okay.
As a couple, as you know, I don't see Jahan Ada, you're Badshah Begum, you have all the power, like do whatever you want, right? Like nobody can really tell you not to do anything, right? And you can make up your own rules and just do whatever you want. So like with Bakhtiar, I mean, her brother was about to announce that she could get married and stuff like that. And now, and you know, he was like saying, like Shami was saying, like, because the dad was like, oh, I made a mistake in like choosing you guys when they were trying to like change stuff. And he was like, well, you've given us the power now and we can't do anything. And, you know, he was just like, yeah, I guess I did.
Yeah. But it's so the general theme is it involves politics, right? And it involves like rural politics. So I feel like, they technically they have power, but also you can't bring a revolution like right away, and especially with the people who are like used to being governed and Ghulam, which we can translate to the bigger scope of what's happening in Pakistan in general these days politically. But let's stick to the dramas. But these people have they've been told they're ruled, that they're, you know, they get told what to do, how things are, and I feel like they will feel discriminated, like not disrespected if their heritage is changed by outsiders, technically outsiders, right? Like, so I feel like they have to like how do you say it in Urdu? Like dekh ke qadam rakhne, like halke halke, like not to ruffle too many feathers at a time. So that's why, because to me too, I was like, oh, no big deal, you know. Why should Badshah Begum, you know, like she did. Her first thing was like khad mein khas ki zaban nahi kaati jayegi. Like, totally barbaric, like, you know. To me it sounds barbaric, but these are people who they just know this is the way it's done. But she comes in, so that's one thing that was in her power. And it doesn't affect a lot of people in the sense it just affects, you know, her khad mein khas, and it stays in, you know, her char diwari. So I feel like that was something she was easily able to do. Now Shamir, I believe, was going to say that Badshah Begum can marry, right? That was the decree he was going to say.
Yeah.
Now that would have been something really offensive, I feel like, to people.
Well, the other thing coming back to like the you know, the tongue cutting thing, like Jahan Ada has been like trained her entire life by her father to and to be in this role. So I'm surprised that she didn't know that already, right?
Yeah, but
They
her
already know
father
like the
wouldn't. Her
nuances.
father would know all the intricacies of Badshah Begum's, day to day.
Yeah,
He could probably
I don't know.
prepare her in the sense that give her a general idea that you're going to guide your brother. That's your duty as Badshah Begum. But how she guides him, I'm guessing he expects the puppo to pass along to her.
Yeah, but he doesn't want the puppo to do as much because she's that person
Yeah,
that
well, he wants
killed his
to
wife,
kill his
right?
wife,
So
their mom. Which is
and
another
so
reason
he
I didn't understand why he wanted to bring his children back to the area where their mom was murdered. Like,
so
why not just give it to, is it Shazay, Farhan Said's character name?
yeah.
Why not give it to Shazay? He's been raised, he's been groomed for it.
It's kind of a revenge thing because she didn't let my wife be there, but like now I'm gonna have my daughters there.
Yeah.
Well, what's the
think
point
that
of that even?
I think that would have
live.
been and I was mentioning it before where I think that like disconnect would have been fulfilled if they had Zara Newer Boss play the character of her mother with like another, because they had another actor play the father, and so you could see that like, okay, since she wasn't able to take her place as like the wife of the being
Gadina
like the Nashim, yeah. So the now, but Dada,
the young
Jahanada
Zara,
is going to
yeah.
take, she's going to take over and kind of fulfill that role that her mother should have been fulfilling.
Yeah, that would have
even
been
but
good.
not as Badshah, but yeah. So that would have been like a good kind of and they were really good about like I mean, cinematography has been great and stuff like that, and casting. So I mean, why they couldn't do that? Like, what they think about that? That makes sense. Yeah. And also, the other complaint I had was that like the character of Murad should be like 18 or 18 years old, or like really, because he was a baby when the rest of them were like kids, and so it makes sense that he now looks like the oldest. Although the actor's doing a great job, Abu Hassan's doing a great job. I just think it didn't make sense to me that he wasn't. He doesn't. He doesn't.
I thought Shamir was the youngest because he looks really young.
Yeah.
So that's weird. The casting was kind of.
Have you been keeping up with this stuff? I know you were watching it before.
No, I haven't watched. I don't know how many episodes, but I do keep like Hadim updates me and I know all of that.
You get summaries from you don't watch it. Yeah.
And Yasser Hussein has done a great job as Qased.
He's doing a great job.
So that was like, I guess that was my other complaint, is that like, okay, so Qased has a personality, right? Shahzeb Farhan as Shahzeb, like I can't think of any other actor that could have played that, and like the dressing and everything, and like how he's in that character. Like he's done really well. Even Zahra, I mean, I'm not loving her character as much, but I mean, she's not terrible, and I even think Golden Mir's done well. But with Bakhtiar, Adi Rahman, I'm sorry, he's a great actor, but he's not. He's not that like
these two
sisters
I
are
honestly
fighting
think,
over him. Like.
Yeah. I honestly think it has to do with just the character itself is a really weird guy. He comes off more of a creepo to me and a loser. And then on top of that, just the way they and then just the way they dressed him, because like Bajay the other day, how we put on like those old awards and he was dancing in a suit and stuff. He looks so good. And I'm like, he's good looking. He can look great.
But he's looking like a college boy, right? Like, isn't he supposed to be younger?
Is what he's looking like.
Even like giving him like maybe like a leather jacket or something like that, like something that was kind of like a signature, like
because he's from a good well-to-do family. He's not like a middle class or lower class.
If somebody made a caricature of Shahzeb, I would know that that's Shahzeb. If somebody made a caricature of Qased, I would know, right? With Bakhtiar, like I wouldn't know.
So there's nothing memorable about him. You're saying he's just
exactly.
But honestly, it's even just them. They're like, I don't like the whole the two sisters. And then it's hard to explain because I've read stories where two sisters might like a guy, but then it kind of works out in a way, like I don't know. It's just weird to me because she knew her sister liked him, and I get that he doesn't like her, fine. but then he kept like bothering her about it. Like he was so persistent, and then she just gives in, and I don't know. It was weird to me. Like,
But and now he's after the other sister. Like he's with the other sister, so
but
it doesn't.
Yeah.
So it's very gross to me that he's
Yeah,
been
that
with
is
one
gross.
sister and
Yeah.
now he's with
It's not
another.
even like cousins. Okay, fine, I guess, but like, yeah, sisters is just
Yeah.
I can't. And I personally wouldn't, if I knew my sister liked a guy. I don't care how much he likes me and how much I might even feel for him, but I just feel like I was betraying my sister, and like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sorry, Sadaf, I have no problem with it.
Yes, I know. Kind of tells you something about both of us, I guess.
I think it's older versus younger, I guess. It's like, you know.
The older's like, what's mine is mine.
The older's
right?
like, I'll take my thing. I don't care who else wants it.
I mean, I get that Roshanara is the younger one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Roshanara, the younger sister, I get that she's really like spoiled and stuff and annoying and bratty or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, if you're the good sister, yeah, it's like if you're the good sister,
for biscuit.
You'd still be the good sister, and I mean, I've read a story like that. So.
Yeah, Roshanara kind of redeemed herself when she was like praying for Jahanada. I don't know if you guys remember that scene when Jahanada was in the hospital and Roshanara was like praying for her because, like, you know, she realized her sister could die and she didn't want to.
Was she praying for her, or was she praying for a selfish reason that she didn't want to end up being Badshah Begum? I don't think she was. No, okay, no. I think she was still being a bee and not praying because she's worried about her sister. She's just worried about herself, that she'll have to live this life of Badshah Begum if anything happens to her sister. But it's a good thing. If I hate her, she's doing her job. She's supposed to be a hater.
Yeah, that's what I said. I know she's bratty.
I think because you're Bakhtiyar Jahanada.
I'm on Team Bakhtiyar and Jahanada, so that's probably why I hate her more.
Yeah,
but also more than that, like, I'm just in general as a woman, I would never ever run after a guy. And I don't know, maybe it's my upbringing here or whatever. It's just, I would never act like this man is the last man on the planet that will ever, like...
Yeah, I get being upset. Like, your heart gets broken, whether it's a crush or love or whatnot. Yeah, it's okay to feel sad and cry over the person maybe for a couple of days, but you do move on. Like, I don't understand. And like, this is coming from me.
And what does she think is going to happen? Like, let's say she is able to, you know, to get him to turn around and fall in love with her. That mistrust will always be there because her sister will always be with her, right?
Yeah.
So anytime they end up alone in a room, or anytime he's talking to her, or anytime she's talking to him, if there was ever chemistry between your sister and your man, like, what kind of relationship will you have for the rest of your life?
That's the thing, like, but that's you see that a lot in Pakistani dramas in general. The person that doesn't get the person they want is like crazy and like will do anything to get them.
Yeah.
What is your, like, okay, so let's say you end up with them, which some of them actually do. Yeah. That person never loves them fully or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's I've never understood that. Like, so yeah.
In general, yeah. If you have to work that hard to get someone, you will have to work like 5 times as hard to keep them there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I get that's not real life, and it's so they're just making a story up. But why does every drama have to have the same story?
Yeah. But I do want to give a shout out to Farhan Zaid because he's like very now like the romantic lead, but like, and that's when he's like a very, like, I guess, cold-hearted person. But that scene when he's just literally watching Zulekha and pour chai for him, like, and like they have the Badshah Begum music on the background, like that was like, you know, that made my heart flutter more than like Bakhtiyar and, you know, Jahanara. Sorry,
but don't be sorry.
I know.
Never have to apologize for your opinion.
You liked that scene where they were like on the
taboo
mirror
scene, yes. When Jahanara says Bakhtiyar mujhe rokoge nahi, I was like, oh. I love the way
the mirror scene, like where it was like the mirror, not like the glass scene.
Oh yeah.
That
the
was
glass
really good.
partition, and she puts her hand out.
It was very.
That was really good.
It was very inspired from like Romeo and Juliet. I don't know if you guys saw the Claire Danes and Leonardo DiCaprio.
And also from Maine Pyar Kiya. Hello, Pageshi and Salman Khan. The glass. Yeah.
That's
But that
true.
was well done. That was well done. I
Very
liked
well
that
done.
too.
Yeah, that was cinematographically like yeah.
The thing about
Farhad
Faranseh,
Said is a great actor, though.
Yeah,
yeah.
he's really
He's
come
been a great
into
actor.
yeah,
The
he's
thing I
really
like
been
about him is he does those things. Okay, so like sometimes some people don't. So their expression isn't outwardly whatever they're feeling, but you could still tell how they're feeling. And it's in the eyes or something.
Yeah, his eyes.
And I think he does that really well.
Yeah.
And so I love that.
Yeah.
I do have to say though, well, maybe I'll talk about it when we get to that drama. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's I think one of the things that I've noticed about him that I really like. So.
So are we giving any biscuits to Badshah Begum right now, or
I guess we
can give the biscuit star rating though. What do you think of Badshah Begum so far?
I would give it a 3. I think
yeah,
it's not wowed me.
3.5.
It's not wowed me, but I'm still interested to see what's gonna happen next.
Yeah, I think it's like a 4 as well. It's not perfect, but it's I feel like it's got a lot of good things going for it. It's a different story.
It's different, yeah.
It's showing you showing you the city versus the rural and stuff, and everybody's doing a great job in what they're supposed to be doing, and I have no complaints about the chemistry, so I give it a 4. The only one thing is, I do have a warning for people who might find some subjects sensitive in there. There's some harassment issues, and then some just overall a little, like I said, the tongue cutting thing. Some of the traditions in the rural Gaul areas are a little.
It's a mature audience.
Yeah, it's a mature audience. I wouldn't feel, at least I wouldn't feel comfortable watching it in front of my children just yet. So just if you're parents, or you might want to watch it before you watch it with people. Okay, I think we can move on from Badshah Begum. That was a good review. Let's